Welcome to the TeamFourStar podcast. I'm Kaiser Neko.
I'm Lanny Pator.
And I'm Taka.
Wow, just kind of ran out of steam early, huh?
Yeah, I had a long day at work.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, so did your mom, with my dick.
Oh, he just went there. But it's okay, because he's
Kaiser,
gay.
my mom's not a man.
Well, there's something you need to know about your mom that I found out with my dick.
Kaiser, my mom's Christian. She wouldn't have sex with a gay man.
Crying games. Anyway. I'm probably the only person in this room that's seen that whole movie.
Probably.
Yeah.
So,
It's actually pretty good. But speaking of crying games, hey Kaiser, I heard you just went to Europe.
I'm sure there's a connection there that I'm not getting.
I am the master of segues.
Yeah,
Those are illegal in America.
They are?
Somewhere.
Are they?
I don't know, I heard that.
I don't think
illegal.
so. I see mall cops riding them all the time.
Man.
So Kaiser, how was Europe?
No segues in Europe. I did not see a single segue while I was in Europe. I did see a lot of mopeds, though. Lot of Vespas. And I was totally okay with that.
Totally okay with that? Is it because you're gay?
Oh, yeah.
I thought so.
Bunch of Germans just driving around town going, ciao. That's a Eddie Izzard reference for all you people who watch transvestite comics.
Yeah.
So, Europe was actually really fun. I was in Finland for the first half of it, and then I was in Berlin for the second half. I was in Finland, funny enough, for AnimeCon, and it wasn't just me
My
either.
original name.
Hold on, Kaiser. This couldn't be the AnimeCon we've been mentioning in the past 2 episodes of this podcast, could it?
Well, I'm just making sure people know.
My God, it's come full circle. Okay, keep going.
It wasn't just me, though. It was also Moscow X and Little Martin. And so, yeah, that was actually really fun. It was weird. I'm going to tell you what. Not just Finland, but being there without you two. Either of you two.
Yeah, that was the first one where you've gone without us, isn't it?
Yeah, either of you guys. I've never done, it's like Moscow and Martin were filling in for you, and that was weird.
Wait, who was who?
Choose wisely.
I guess Martin technically had to be Lanny because he was the one with the most facial hair.
Oh, snap. I do have a pretty nice beard right now, though.
Yeah, and Moscow had his
Yeah, it's the same amount of childlike innocence as I do.
and a ridiculous stash.
I don't have a mustache.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't, like, facial hair and you don't get along.
Well, hold on. I could actually see that working when you're like 50 years old. I could see that working for you.
Here's the thing. I actually took after my mom's side of the family, so I have a similar face to them. See, my dad's side of the family are all manly men with mustaches. I unfortunately inherited my mom's face.
And you shave your legs.
No, I don't, and I really should, though.
Oh.
But then your jeans would always chafe.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, Kaiser, how was I'm not saying anything. How were like the panels and stuff? Because I actually haven't heard or seen much of anything from those.
The panels went well. Funny enough, we didn't have our 18+ panel there, but I'm not gonna lie. It seemed like you can just kind of get away with a lot more in Europe. I think I could have said about anything I really wanted to up there and gotten away with it. Because there was a hentai panel. I am not kidding. A hentai panel that I think it was like 16 and up.
They do run free porn in most of their hotels down there, from what I remember.
Man, I'm kind of sad I didn't stay at a hotel now. But yeah, the regular panel went really well. The Finnish people, they could be a little bit quiet, and then not necessarily stoic, just focused. But you get them all in a room celebrating something. They'll get loud. They'll get interactive. They're friendly. They're very friendly.
How were our Finnish fans, by the way?
They had a better command of the English language than you'd expect. In fact, I believe some of them were more well-spoken than a lot of people I've met in the States. It was very funny and very interesting. I could not remember anybody's names because that was weird.
Did they all have that weird thing with like J's that sounded like Y's and stuff?
Yeah, there were a couple that were easy, like Katra, Sara. But then there was like...
Whoa, you telling me you were in Skyrim?
But then there was Anu, and one was Uma, Ula, and some other ones that other ones I have forgotten, because they were too many K's and J's and I's and...
Did you meet a Jarl?
I did not meet a Jarl.
Did you meet the Dovahkiin?
I heard his song.
I did too. It's pretty cool.
He goes,
I did meet a Lassie, though.
Oh?
It took everything I could not to ask him if little Timmy had fallen down a well.
Oh.
Probably would.
Oh.
Well, just have a low.
I wonder if he'd get that, or if that's strictly an American thing.
He might have, considering at this con, and I'm not kidding, they had Yoshihiro Takahashi, the guy who made Ginga Nagareboshi Gin, which I'm not kidding, is an entire manga series about talking dogs.
Those are some words you just said.
Yes, I know. They're a bunch of it's all moonspeak. It's all weeaboo. But so it was actually really interesting. They put on this gigantic play for Takahashi. This gigantic.
Did they have actual dogs?
No. It had people dressed as dogs. It was incredibly
Lost
furry.
my interest.
I'm not gonna lie. It was incredibly furry. I remember looking at it going like, geez, at any other con, this would just be like, yikes. But actually, it was impressive because it was this hour and a half long musical dedicated to Ginga Nagareboshi Gin, and apparently it was really good. I didn't get to see it because I was actually doing something else at the time. I was on Benzai's Let's Fat panel, which I'll get into that one in a second. But I gotta say, Finnish fans, I couldn't believe the kind of dedication that they put into their panels. That and the amount of cosplay, like the density of cosplayers at this con was higher than any con I've ever been to. Ever.
How hot were the ladies?
Oh, man. Like,
damn it!
Dude,
Gang, why did you get to go?
Benzai could not stop. Like, Benzai is such a perv. Not in the bad way, but in the fun, like the kind of way it's like, he's really funny about it. But he couldn't stop staring at all the girls, and he was totally honest about it too.
How many women did he get at the end of the weekend?
Probably a half a dozen. He was such a slick flirt too. He was totally playing up the whole "I'm French" thing, and he did it pretty well. By the way, so you guys did a little bit of pornography reading, which we'll get into later.
Hold on. First, I actually have to ask, because that whole play thing piqued my interest. Now, Kaiser, is a bunch of furry, like dog furries in a room? Now, would you still consider that a fur pile, or is it a dog pile?
We'd still call it a fur pile.
Okay, just wondering. But yeah, we did do some pornography reading, didn't we, Takahata 101?
We didn't hear about the Let's Fap thing from Kaiser. I want to hear about that. My focus is on that right now.
Okay, let's hear about your pornography.
Let's finish off AnimeCon.
We'll finish off AnimeCon by talking about me using my Rex Godwin voice to talk about penetrating a girl. Let's do that.
That sounds incredibly similar to what we did.
Yeah, continue on.
So basically, Benzai does this series of Let's Faps, which are separate from his Game Faps. His Game Faps are reviews of hentai games. His Let's Faps are actually playthroughs. And so he did a Let's Fap Live, I think it was called, where basically he played it in front of a bunch of, like, a couple hundred people.
He played a porn game.
Yeah, it was called, I think it was Exchange 2?
Oh, my... no. I shouldn't know that one.
You shouldn't. I'm not going to agree. But
yeah, I didn't know what that is. What I do.
I don't know what it is. I'm still innocent.
It's a gender bender one.
Yep, it's a gender bender one. We didn't get to any gender bending though, but we did get to plow this chick. And my favorite part about it is
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Kaiser Neko just plowed a chick.
But listen, my favorite part about it is that Benzai was playing the main character, Mosca was playing the chick, and I was playing the narration, which was basically the main character narrating. I used my Rex Godwin voice, while Benzai used Kermit the Frog, and Masako used Piggy.
So, you took the term Schwanstucker literally then?
Quite literally. It was pretty amazing. Although, one of the reasons that I'm really... Because it wasn't until halfway through that we realized... Because Benzai was using the Kermit voice at first, and Masako was just using his girl voice. Halfway through, his moans started getting way too realistic, and we were like, okay, we're going to have to do something, or this is about to get a million times more uncomfortable than any of us are willing to deal with.
What was LK doing during this?
He wasn't there that day. He had to leave.
Oh.
But, so we're like, you know what? Miss Piggy, let's round this out. And so, yeah. I was really surprised. I didn't think they could get away with showing full-on penetration on that screen, but they did.
I don't care. Fucking Finland.
Yeah, I know, right?
Too.
It was.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. And so what was your reading pornography like?
Well, ours hit the internet pretty hard, actually. While we were there, Kaiser, you remember Mike, right?
He's cool.
He's a total bro. Well, we were all out to lunch with Doug one day, and we just started talking.
The nostalgia critic.
Yes, plug. Anyway, we were just sitting there, and we were talking about like just random stuff, and the topic of Gilbert Gottfried reading 50 Shades of Grey came up.
So rock hard.
Yep. So from there, we just started talking about how funny it would be just to read it in different voices, and Mike took that upon himself to actually get us a copy of the book.
Absolutely.
Which is perfect.
Didn't we all egg him on, though?
Just a little, but, he did it. He went out and he did it. And so at our 18-plus panel that night, he comes in, he shows us his tablet, which has a copy of the book on it, and we're like, oh, yeah, this is happening. In that instant, like, Doug shows up at the door, and we're like, on the stage, now. And we just start reading 50 Shades of Grey in various voices. And I do believe we actually have video footage of that we're going to throw on the site here in a little, right?
Well, thanks to our friend Katie Noctis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really, the whole thing went over really well. Like, just the beginning of the weekend, I had to leave at 11 o'clock on Thursday night, so I got in at 9 in the morning on Friday morning. So I was jet-lagged. I land, and boom, there's John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem for it. We ride to the convention center. Lanny and Amfish are already there.
We waited for you. It took us forever.
Yeah, I know. People just happened. So we hung out that day. I was terribly jet lagged for all our panels, so thank goodness I had a monster drink. What was interesting about that weekend was because we started off with our panel. Our main panel was on Friday at what time was it? 5 o'clock? And then 2 hours later, we had our 18+ panel.
Yeah, we didn't really have time to go out and do much. I think we
waited for food for 45 minutes.
Yeah, because the Chinese place wouldn't deliver, so it was like, oh, okay, well, let's just go to our panel.
That was a pain in the ass, but hey, whatever. Then we went to 18+ panel. Now, here's the thing. We told Doug to show up because we were going to read 50 Shades of Grey, and he did halfway through the panel. He stuck his head in, and the crowd reaction was amazing. Like, the crowd went ape shit when he showed up. He really did. And then he ran on stage. I ran on stage. We hugged each other. We were jumping up and down. Then Lanny picked both me and the nostalgia critic up.
Lifted both of you up.
Lanny
and then
fell over with both of us.
Yep.
And then
Doug was doing Doug was doing basically a reverse cowgirl in my lap, and Taka was up front.
And we were, it was very interesting. Then Doug grabbed my ass 4 times. Like, just smacked it. Smack, smack, smack.
And then we read 50 Shades of Grey. That is
for
the
50 minutes straight.
Straightest ever. And Antfish, oh my God, his Nicolas Cage just killed.
Oh God. My God. Like, Antfish's Tim Curry and Nicolas Cage were the best. Doug's Batman and his bum voice just did so damn well.
Chester A. Bum came at the perfect time. Taka, your darts.
And Liam
Neeson were just destroying it too.
Oh, that was a great experience, and I really look forward to everyone checking it out. But then we went back to our hotel room. We slept. Saturday happened then, and we went to John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem's panel, Saturday night. We just walked in the side doors and we held up the book.
And I just hold up that book. And he's like, "You brought that?" Yes. And he's like,
"Get over here right now."
And that video actually ended up on Kotaku and for some reason Gizmodo. I'm not sure why Gizmodo.
It was on Screw Attack. It was on every gaming site.
Yeah, but Gizmodo isn't a gaming site. Kotaku is like in the same freaking branch, and like, yeah, it has reason to have it.
Gizmodo's just like a geek site, so you know.
Okay, I can see it.
We redub anime. He plays Duke Nukem. It's relevant.
It killed.
I feel bad because I was pretty inebriated in that video, and I'm like having my over-the-top reactions to everything.
Hey, I think that only serves to improve the entire experience.
I think it's
speaking of inebriation, though. Taka, I won't go too far into this story. Don't worry, but we did end up having a nice room party that night because the room they gave us this year was awesome. It was like a 2-level suite.
It was really awesome, and like,
it was perfect.
One kid's in No Whacking, Caddy Noctis and her friend John,
John St. John,
Rachel Robinson. I forget the other actress's name. Daniel McRae.
All getting pretty buzzed.
Dropping them names.
No, it was a bunch of the voice actors who were decently drunk.
And Doug was there.
And Doug walked. Yeah, it was pretty. And then 4 guys who randomly showed up and brought tons of tons of vodka to finish off our chase.
And yeah, we were making like White Russians, and I got this like birthday cake vodka, and like the White Russians I made with those like freaking stole the show that night. Everybody was having. We were out of that vodka in like 20 minutes.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
It was
so
pretty
jealous.
It was pretty damn bomb.
Find it when we go to Australia. We will drink it out of the navels of beautiful women in Australia. So it'll be fine.
Kaiser, I'll let you drink it out of my navel so you get a fair show. Okay,
Yay!
there you go.
But yeah, that was. But finish off your story, Lanny.
But yeah, it was a good night. Everybody was there, drinking, and just to end out the night, everybody else had kind of like walked away. Antfish, Mike, and you and I, Taka, we were the ones left in there. So Antfish and Mike, they were kind of done drinking. But you and I, we just decided to do like one more shot.
Drinking. I should have been.
Yes, you should have been, because I decided that I'm going to make one more shot to finish off the night. So we did our last shot, and you asked me, Lanny, what was in the Lanny shot? And I said, everything we had left.
Yeah.
And it was at that point that I'm not sure you remember the rest of the night. But
all I know is I tried to go Super Saiyan 3 times or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty uncomfortable. I do remember you requesting that John St. John come back and that he bring an ambulance.
Get him back!
Bring John St. John back! Bring John St. John back! Tell him to bring him an ambulance, Lanny. I remember that. But
saying that.
I know you don't. I know you don't remember saying that.
I do remember trying to go Super Saiyan. I was yelling really loudly like I was powering up.
Yes, you were. You were yelling really loudly to the porcelain god.
Why can't I do fully like that when it comes to recording time? God, swear to God.
I don't know. Booze yourself up a little bit more.
Maybe you know what? I'm going to have to... Oh, God. Some actors smoke. I'm going to have to start drinking. God damn it.
Actually, it's funny. I've done one recording session totally drunk before.
But yeah, other than that, Kineticon, it was pretty much just as great as last year. We loved all of our fans, and what?
I'd say it was better than last year. I would say I had a lot of fun. The crowd was really awesome this year.
Taka, remember the Zarbon and the group that showed up?
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about... there was a full DBZ cosplay group, and there was a Zarbon in the group who looked like Zarbon from the show.
It was amazing, and Uncanny. they made their own custom Saiyan armor out of like fiberglass and...
Reinforced fiberglass armor. It was really well made. They won the cosplay competition, and Zarbon got in the front page of the local newspaper.
That's awesome. I mean,
talk about a clean sweep weekend.
It was amazing. I believe Doug's panel actually had the fire marshal called on it because his line was getting out of control.
Yeah, apparently ours almost had that problem too, according to the staffer, but like Doug's got really bad because it was prime time on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. And so they just ended up giving him, the main room like
on
right before
Sunday for an overflow panel. And that was good too.
And I'm really proud to announce that Kineticon broke 10,000 attendees this year. So
that's sweet. Sweet, good on them.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. It's good to see that Kineticon went so well. Last year was fun, but there were a lot of hitches. It sounds
there were some hiccups, but they did their best to make it work last year, and this year it definitely showed from last year's hiccups.
That's good to hear. I'm glad. So it seems like both of our cons really went over particularly well.
It did, and you know what? I'm loving those cons. I hope we do get to go back to Kineticon next year. I know they want us back right now.
I just hope that next time Kineticon and AnimeCon
aren't on the same weekend.
Yeah. I'd like that because I like it's weird. I went to Europe and then I heard about all the cool crap that you guys did while you were in Kineticon, and I'm
we met
Jim. Thanks, Kaiser.
I hate you so much.
He signed the Internet Heavyweight Championship, and he took
the Patty Cake Championship.
And he did the cheese line.
If it means anything, I watched the Winnie the Pooh movie when I was on the plane.
That means something, Kaiser, because we got to meet the guy who was voicing some of those characters.
Oh man, one of the lines he said, "Oh, Christopher Robin, no." Childhood started melting. The walls started melting. Reality started crumbling.
Childhood destroyed.
It was fantastic. But speaking of movies, though, Kaiser, I hear there is a new Dragon Ball Z movie in the works.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this one's kind of big for people because this is actually the first legitimate Dragon Ball Z movie to come out in years.
I can't wait for the American companies not to be able to dub it.
Yeah, there's been a long history, unfortunately, of a lot of the recent anime productions coming out of Japan for Dragon Ball Z not being dubbed. Starting with the 20th anniversary special, then Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans, now episode of Bardock, as we find out, is going to be on Dragon Ball Z, the Connect game, and it's not going to be dubbed.
Yeah, it's terrible. We're going to dub it before Funimation does. Oh, did I just say that? Maybe I did.
Ooh. Oh. But yeah, so it's
Yes.
I'm legitimately hoping that since this is actually a movie, that it will get a legitimate release.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten anything like that's not a rehash of Dragon Ball Z. Yes, I'm including Kai in America that's been dubbed. We haven't gotten anything new.
Yeah, the closest thing were those reanimated scenes in Raging Blast 3, was it?
Sadly, the closest thing we had to a new Dragon Ball thing was Dragon Ball Evolution.
Wah,
wah.
Shut your whore mouth, kid.
We should do rest tracks of that.
We should, shouldn't we?
But for anyone unfamiliar, this was actually announced not too long ago. There was this little countdown website in Japan, and after the countdown happened, it's going to be a Dragon Ball Z movie, and I'm just so excited. One of the cool things about it, actually, is the fact that Akira Toriyama is going to be is apparently either writing or has written for it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So, here's a little quote from him. "It's rare, or should I say it's the first time, that I've been deeply involved with the animation from the scriptwriting stage. As it had been a while, there was a lot I'd forgotten, but as expected of the creator of the original work, I was soon able to get back into the tempo of things, at least. For this film, while leaving the atmosphere of the original intact, we've added just a little bit of a modern flavor, so I think it will be an enjoyable piece of entertainment.
Twitter, social media, Facebook!
Just like old times."
Is it funny that when you say that, Kaiser, I can hear you speaking as a translator over a loudspeaker, and I can hear Japanese in the background, in the back of my head?
I know, right? A couple of things about this statement really piqued my interest. The idea of a more modern flavor. I'm curious what that's going to be about, because in the 20th anniversary special, I think we might have seen a little bit of that.
You mean with the updated animation and stuff?
Yeah, but not just that, but if you'll notice, they added a little bit more technology in there, a little bit. And not just that, and it wasn't always that the technology wasn't futuristic, but it was a little bit more contemporary design in that one with Gohan on the computer.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if that's what they mean, or if it's just going to be the tone of things. I'm curious to see what that'll add up to.
I don't know. I just want to see what they do, if they create a new villain or something like that. Because as much as I enjoyed the special, it was nothing but fan service, and there was no actual real threat to it.
Well, yeah, but I was okay with it being total fan service, though, because it had been so long since we'd had something new. I was kind of okay with
that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, I liked sitting back down with these characters after so long and just kind of watching them, watching these not so serious events unfold, getting a couple of decent action scenes. Funny thing, this is actually set during the exact same time that one was, during what apparently people are calling the Lost Decade, the years between Boo being defeated and the last couple of episodes where everyone's older. Yeah, so I'm very curious how that's going to turn out. I guess that means, God, I really hope that means that Gohan does something.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I doubt it. You know it's going to be Goku or it's going to be Goten and Trunks.
Which it's not that I don't like Goten and Trunks, but in all the movies, they're insufferable.
I just hope everybody gets their bit of screen time. That's all they need. You know what they need? They need to fight a team, like an evil team. Maybe that's what he means by making it more modern. I mean, if you watch One Piece, you watch things like that, everyone
has a fight.
Yeah,
everybody gets their moment.
I would love to see just this. I don't care if it's a group of space pirates. I don't care if we pull that crap for the 10th time. I would just...
Interdimensional space pirates, so they're really powerful.
Interdimensional. Yes, they've been crossing... they've been crossing dimensions. But it would give, and I say Goten and Trunks, I liked them in movie 12 the best because they got to beat up Hitler. And then in movie 13, Trunks actually had something to do. And all the other ones, they've kind of sucked. So it would be nice to just kind of have them delegated to, some funny joke fight off on the side, so we can have Gohan fight another like Gohan, Goku, Vegeta. Hell, maybe Piccolo, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, Piccolo would be awesome. I'd like to see him fight again in a more modern time. Or, if they don't want to make him a joke fight, just have him do Gotenks.
Yeah.
Gotenks works.
Gotenks is the good old fallback.
So
but
much. I hate Gotenks.
Why do you hate Gotenks?
What do you hate Gotenks?
What you got against Gotenks?
I look at it this way, and like I understand like their need for like newish characters and stuff in the Boo arc, but I felt that Gotenks was just here's an awesome new character, buy the toys.
I don't know. Toriyama was never about that. Toriyama was never.
No, not Toriyama. His bosses were though.
Well, yeah, his bosses would ask for certain things, but I can't help but feel like Gotenks was a character he'd been building up for a while.
The problem was just boom, Super Saiyan 3. It was like really.
Yeah, well, the Boo arc suffers from a lot of that, but
it's. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's that power gap. You have to fill that power gap somehow.
Yeah, Toriyama had a bad habit of making those power gaps gigantic and then giving them unrealistic explanations of how they filled them. But
like Goku already knew how to fill it, just didn't.
Yeah. But I'm very curious to see what they'll have. When it comes to animation, I'm torn because I wouldn't mind if it were in the style of, say, episode of Bardock, but I liked the 20th anniversary special version. Taka, I know you weren't a fan of that, but I was.
It wasn't that I wasn't a fan of it. I was just kind of annoyed that it didn't feel, it was a 20th anniversary special. It didn't feel special. That was the problem.
Yeah, but
there was 7 minutes dedicated to picking radishes. I'm like, okay, you know what?
Yeah, that was Toriyama saying, "Hey, remember Dragon Ball?" And that's okay, but it's like,
isn't this fun? No, I want. God, give me a give.
I know. What we want is
nothing but fan service, and that's what it was meant to be.
Yeah, but so yeah, new Dragon Ball Z movie coming out. We're all hoping everybody gets a fight. That'd be nice. Not just Goku,
or God forbid, Goten and Trunks.
Yeah. Let's not do more of that.
So anyway, moving on from what movies could be to what movies are. Kaiser, you and I have both seen The Dark Knight Rises, right?
Yeah. So which means we're gonna have to be extra spoiler light on this
one.
Well,
I you know me, I don't give away spoilers that easily.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's huge.
Is Batman in it?
Batman is in fact not in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's actually Superman.
Fucking Nolan getting deeper than you ever expected.
It's actually Superman with this like crazy beard, and he's hitchhiking, and it's really dumb.
And then Aquaman shows up and slaps him with a tuna. It's pretty funny at that point. But anyway, what did you think of it, Kaiser? Because I mean, I had my own experience. What was your experience going in there to watch it? Were you a midnight premiere guy?
Funny story about that one. I left at 5. Okay, I woke up at 5 a.m. Frankfurt time, which is 7 hours ahead of American time. I got into town at 10:30 p.m. and then went straight from the airport to the theater.
Huh.
I can tell you
I actually had a very similar situation, but you go ahead.
I was exhausted. I was stupid tired. I couldn't even believe I had bothered to do that. But at the same time, I was like, yay, Batman. And so I just drank a bunch of coffee and then got totally psyched. How did I feel about the movie? Okay, let me do the usual rigmarole. Wasn't good as 2. Probably better than 1. I do love the scope of this movie. The scope is unbelievable. It's bigger than both the other movies. I love the high tension. The suspense in this movie it gets to
it's palpable. It's palpable.
There are a couple of missteps in terms of pacing. I know that it wants to spend all this time, like it's got this pacing that is very what's the term? Determined. It's got this very determined pace. It's pointing out all the details very slowly, making sure that you take everything in.
And it was filled with so much fan service.
Oh, yeah.
To anybody who read the comics or watched the animated series or, hell, even played Arkham City, there's like a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, you're right. It is unfortunate that no matter what you do, it's always going to be compared to the second one, which I agree, in my opinion, is the best of the 3.
Yeah. And you were never going to have a villain as good as Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean,
Yeah,
Tom
it's
Hardy is Bane.
unfortunate.
Tom Hardy is Bane at like there are
he
some
was
scenes,
great.
There are some
Yeah.
scenes where he's a powerhouse. He comes in there and you are legitimately afraid for everybody in that room. He is an intelligent but incredibly scary man who will
Like Bane should be.
Yeah.
And I like Tom Hardy. I liked him. I might be the only person again who's seen this movie, but I've seen. He was in another movie called Bronson, where he played You've seen it, or have you seen it?
I've seen it, but I know about it.
It's really good. It's about pretty much like the world's most dangerous prisoner, quote unquote. Like he's just a guy that gets into fights because he's just a violent guy. But it's not an action movie. It's just like it's kind of a drama. And the guy he's a good actor. And I actually love the way he portrayed Bane. Like some of the like a lot of the serious moments he pulls off, but he's never like just super serious until he's actually conflicted with things. Like he's kind of like very loose with some of the stuff he does. He's very relaxed because he's very in control.
Yeah, and sometimes that comes off as a little silly because when like he with that behind that mask, it's hard to gauge his expression, so you can only go off his voice. And there are times where he'll sound a little silly in his responses because he doesn't give any fucks.
Well, here's the thing: you can totally tell that they went back and re-recorded a bunch of that.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost. Like I'm willing to believe that they almost went back and re-recorded all of it.
Yeah, because you compare that trailer to the actual dialogue, and it doesn't even sound like it's the original dialogue cleared up. It sounds like newly recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, there was just no way that they could have left that original dialogue in there. You couldn't understand.
You couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
I remember going to see that first trailer. I was so psyched, and then you see Bane, and he's just like. But actually, in the movie, you can understand him clear as day. It's perfect. I'm glad they went back and either remastered it or re-recorded it. But there like Kaiser said, there are a couple of stumbles in there, and I think there are a few things that like some information is given out that is given in a certain way that I think shouldn't have been able to be comprehended as fact, but in fact was fact. I can't go into the spoiler for it, but there's just one scene where Bruce is basically talking to a guy who shouldn't be able to give him the information he's being given.
There are logic jumps that don't make sense.
But overall it was still a really, really satisfying conclusion in my opinion, because for something like this, you never knew how it was going to end, and the way it ended was just so satisfying. And I don't know. I came out really happy with it, but I'm going to go back a little and tell you about my experience, getting to the movie.
Oh, yeah?
I was heading down to South Dakota for SogenCon with my lovely girlfriend, Erica. And, we got there at like probably 9 o'clock because we started in the late afternoon because I had to work that day. And we got in there and it's like, okay, there's a movie theater about 1.5 miles from here. Let's get to the car. And so we went there. We got our tickets. We went inside. And, it was a really cool theater. Like, apparently it just switched management. And the new general manager was pretty awesome. Like, he had people dressed up in costumes. He had, like, the theme song, like the soundtrack of The Dark Knight Rises playing in each of the theaters. And then he comes in and he's doing these little games. Now, I mentioned this on Twitter earlier, probably like the day of. But he was having competitions, like, costume competitions. Yeah, I didn't win that, obviously. But then he had a competition for who could do the best Batman impression from the Christopher Nolan universe. So I was standing up there with a couple guys because you know what? I may have already had the prizes that he was giving out for this one, which were just like Blu-ray copies of the Batman Begins and the Dark Knight. But you know what? A prize is a prize, and I'm going to try to win because I'm a show-off like that. And so he's going down the line, and then he gets to me and I tell him, can you do me a favor and say that you swear to God? Oh, okay, I swear to God, swear to me! So I won that one because that made the audience laugh and the general manager nearly shit his pants. But then the next competition was for the complete Blu-ray collection of Christopher Nolan's works. Like, I'm talking Insomnia, Memento, both the other two movies I just mentioned. It was just like, okay, I need this because like it had Inception, it had everything. I'm just like, yeah, I want that. And it was who could do the best Heath Ledger Joker impression. So I'm like, if I win, can I just trade up? He's like, okay, sure, why not? So I get up there and there's like guys, they're just doing, why so serious? Or like some of them just kind of yelling it. And
Why so serious?
Pretty much. And it got
so serious.
it got to me, so I'm just like, you want to know how I got these scars? You see, my father was a drinker and a fiend.
That sounds like that sounds like Heath Ledger's joke from Batman: The Dark Knight.
I know, right? So I killed that competition because I just recited the whole damn monologue, and so basically I walked out of the movie theater with the entire Blu-ray collection of Chris Nolan, and somebody else got my scraps. It was a good time though. I really enjoyed the movie, and you know what? I mean, you know, I hate to bring up the elephant in the room, but goddamn that Aurora thing.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate and really depressing, and I do not like the way that it has been handled by the media, nor a lot of the people on the internet.
It's ridiculous. And Kaiser, you read something earlier to us that there's some guy actually trying to sue the theater and a couple of doctors and Warner Brothers for what happened
for a violent movie. It's really awful.
It's ridiculous. I can't believe that. It's just some guy
for the rest of my life. Eat a dick.
Exactly. I hate how that happens. No, you're not trying to stand up for people against violent movies. If you were doing that, then you'd be protesting other things. You're just trying to get a goddamn handout. And I understand what happened is terrible. It's terrible. It's awful. And the guy, he deserves to be, put to death the instant his trial is over. I don't care if they rule him insane or whatever. That guy, he deserves punishment. And it's crazy that you try to get like a handout from something like this. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the full story, but I don't believe in censorship like that because you know what? Violence has been a part of society for, throughout the entirety of history. You can't blame somebody's actions on a movie that they haven't even seen. But yeah, it's just stupid. I mean, but other than that, the rest of my weekend, aside from hearing about that and everything else, like I mentioned, I was just at SogenCon down in South Dakota. Me and my lovely girlfriend, Erica, we were down there having a great time with the fans. It's a smaller convention, like significantly smaller. Taka, you and I went to kind of a smaller con, KitsuneCon, a couple months back. This is smaller than that. This is like, maybe breaking 500 people, that kind of a convention. But, the crowds, they're really nice. They're great people. And at my 18-plus panel, I had a question that I've never had before. So I had to find out
your nipples?
No. It was how many shoes can I dodge in 30 seconds?
Oh boy.
So I asked, I found out, and apparently I can dodge more than I can get hit by, but I'm not sure if that speaks to their aim or my agility, and I'm pretty sure it speaks to their aim.
I was gonna say it speaks to your agility, but hey.
Yeah. How have you been, Taka? What have you been up to since ConnectiCon?
Oh, that was like 2 weeks ago. Jeez.
Yeah.
Nothing much. Being my usual weird, awkward self. Kaiser's been gone. You've been gone. Gone is gone. So nothing much really. I chatted with a bunch of people I haven't talked to in a while. That's about it.
You're boring.
That's cool. And boring.
No, I was.
So Kaiser, you've been.
No, I want to talk about myself. You had an 8 minute set. I'm going to talk about 8 minutes of nothing. I went to work, and I worked, and I went to the bathroom. Then I left the bathroom. Then I went back to work.
Kaiser, as soon as you're done cutting this dialogue, what did you do in Europe?
Let's see. Well, actually, I went to Berlin after I went to Kuopio. Although I shouldn't cut out Kuopio because there was actually a lot of great stuff in Kuopio. Probably more than Berlin. There was this fantastic little Viking restaurant called Harald's that served a lot of a lot of the species that are higher on the food chain. Like I ate bear, I ate boar, I ate like a bunch of animals that are probably very well designed to gore human beings.
Kaiser, I need to go to this restaurant now.
It's pretty fantastic, and
how does bear taste? How does bear taste?
I'll admit, bear is actually one of those meats that is on its own. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's really how you prepare it and what you prepare it with.
That's because they're nothing but muscle.
Yeah, I actually had bear sausage, which was really good. There are a bunch of jokes to make there, but I've already made the joke on my Twitter. So
leather bar.
So it was a really nice little town, very green, a lot of trees. People were really nice. Had actually really good Thai food there. I hadn't had Thai in forever, and they had this fantastic Thai place. Probably ate at Harold's 3 times. It was that good. They also had this stuff called tar ice cream, which is a tar-flavored ice cream. It's a smoky flavor of ice cream. Smoky. It's like...
That sounds unpleasant at first, but it sounds like something that grows on you.
It's not unpleasant at all. It's like a smoke bomb, like a freezing smoke bomb going off in your mouth.
Huh.
Yeah, it's actually really awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it was great stuff. I'm trying to think what else. Walking around Kuopio was nice. Getting to know all the people there was really nice.
What was the weather like?
Rainy. Probably only only 1.5 days. There was only 1.5 days of actual sunshine during the entire stay, which that's how it is up in Europe. Unpredictable weather. Berlin was also nice. Big city. Again, good grasp of the English language. Went to one of the zoos out there actually. It's the busiest zoo in all of Europe. I was really impressed too. It's definitely a fantastic zoo.
Wait, did you say sexiest zoo in all of Europe?
Busiest.
Oh.
Although, I was able to get 3 feet from this big ass panther. I could, and the bars, this cage was so wide I could stick my arm through there. Not that I would recommend anyone do that, but I could have, and that was the awesome part. So that was really cool. The Berlin Zoo is actually fantastic. Zoological Gardens. Other than that, basically saw some sights, took a bunch of pictures, which I may upload. I'm kind of lazy about that crap. Europe was fantastic. I have spent a week trying to get over the jet lag. Jesus shit.
Hey, Kaiser.
Yeah?
You like your jet lag?
No.
Are you ready for Australia?
Fuck you. Fuck all of your face.
That'll be
Every inch of your face. Fuck it.
All the bear sausage.
No, kangaroo. Kangabangas.
I wanna bang a kanga. I mean kangabanga.
We shall eat more kangaroo while down there. As I recall, it tasted pretty good. Delicious. Yeah, I guess that wraps it up here. Come back again next time for Team4Star Podcast Z.
Episode 3. I think Goku's dead. No.
No. We are episode 3 right now. So in the next episode, Goku's on Snake Way and whatever, and
I guess
Mr. Popo's training people. That's terrifying.
Bye.